Alright, honestly, I've done this retake multiple times. It's just FYI, I might make mistakes right now because my brain is just it's tired of reading the same things over and over again within for the past hour or so. Yeah, definitely the past hour because the alarm went off and it's almost an hour later. Alright, so sorry in advance, guys. I might be a bit scrambled brain, but of course, welcome to my first ever read. This is honestly a great start to this channel. Me being being apologetic of me messing up in the future for this one video. Okay, so the author of this work I am reading here today gave me permission to use their work as well as inspiration and encouragement to start this channel. So please, I will put their work link in the description. I want you all, if you enjoy their work, to go give their work kudos because this is on AO3 and comment what you enjoy so far about their work on whatever chapter you choose to comment on. Now to the reason on why I am starting the channel here today. There's three reasons. One, for of course fun, because I enjoy reading things. Two, just to dip my foot back into voice acting after almost 10 years. And three, because I want to give a way for people who struggle with reading a way to read, as well as get people's works out there more. Because I have a few friends who could read if they tried, but they will struggle big time, which is why they don't read often. So I want to make this for people like them who want to enjoy something but can't because they have issues that prevent them from doing so. So if you are one of those people that struggle with reading, please, 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 I beg of you, go to the works in the description and show your support to the amazing creators that brought you these things today. Especially this one creator right here in this video. This creator is kind, caring, as well as very talented. If it weren't for them, this channel would not be here. So please, show them the love and respect that they deserve. Now, onto the work. This is Who to Trust by KDH 1997 on AO3. This, of course, as the title says right now on the website, that this is a possible temporary name. That meaning the name may change later on in the future, or it may not. But in the case it does change, I will, in the newer videos, put the new name down as well as what the old name used to be in the brackets. And KDH, if you do change the name, sorry for including your old name in the video, but this is just for people to find your work and know what you called it for right now. Chapter 1, Entering the Plex. Get back here, brat! Not answering, a 10-year-old child would continue running away. Glancing back, he grit his teeth and sped up. He kept running before at the last minute he jumped to the side and turned down a different alley. His sudden turn caused the man to miss the turn intentionally, so he came to a stop and turned around, pushing a few people out of his way as he did. Get back here, you little thief! Turning slightly, the child pulled his lower eyelid to his left down and blew a raspberry. It wasn't his first time stealing, usually his target being food. This time, however, was clothes from a small shop in the outer part of town. It was his first time stealing from there, so he underestimated the power's persistence. Usually they give up either at the door or a few streets. This guy has been chasing him for 2 blocks. Running out of breath, the boy leaned against the wall, using his hand. "Where the hell did you go, brat?" He flinched as he heard him. Not far away. Pushing himself to keep moving, he ran down more back alleys before finding a busy street. The crosswalk light was red, and the traffic was bad. "There you are!" A shiver went down his spine before he jumped onto the first car and began jumping to the next and the next, after till getting to the other side. As he did, he stumbled and scraped his knee. He hissed in pain, glancing down at the bleeding injury, before realizing the man was still chasing him. How did such a large man run so much? He was hurrying between the cars, flipping them off as when they honked at him. Not wanting to sit around for him, the boy forced himself up and began running again. It was bad, though. If it weren't for how close the man had been before, he could have hid in the alley. Now he was in the open. He was good at hiding and running, but he was getting worn out and had nowhere to hide. Not to mention, he had never been to the side of the city. Rather, was this even the city anymore? The buildings were gone for the most part. His eyes squinted as he noticed a large building up ahead. Not wasting time, he began running towards it. If nothing else, he could hide outside it, or maybe inside it if lucky. It was uphill, so he was wearing out faster. But as he got to the top, he was astonished to find a huge building with a giant parking area packed with cars. Also, just a little stop in between. This is a warning. I do not have editing program, so if I do make mistakes, they are going to be included. I forgot to say that in the intro. Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex? He muttered. Hearing the man shout again jolted him to his senses as he bolted to the building. Rushing to the front door as people continued to come in and out in large numbers, he made sure the man saw him go in. After getting in, he hurried to the left and found some kind of kid stroller sitting by the door. It was perfect. Jumping in, he closed it up again and waited. Soon enough, he saw the man enter and began looking around. Luckily, he went right and kept looking. Even better was how he saw a kid with short brown hair, honestly shorter, like his own, wearing a blue shirt like the one he stole. Seeing him leave a good distance, the child got out and left through the front of the building the way he came. Not wanting to stick around, he walked away from the door quickly and to the side so as to not be seen should the man come out again. He continued around till he was in the back of the building near some dumpsters. It was then that he was finally able to relax and catch his breath. All of that for a set of clothes? Is the guy crazy? He grumbled. His stomach then growled, making him sigh. All that running had made him even hungrier since he hadn't stolen any food that day. It was almost night. He glanced at the building he just left. This is a pizza place. At least pizza is in the name anyway. It should have food. How to get in, though? When hiding, he had seen that people had bought passes to get in. He didn't have money for food. How would he have money for a pass? He shivered a bit as the wind picked up. It was late. It was mid to late September. He couldn't quite remember. It was starting to get chilly as it grew darker. Hearing a squeak, he turned his head and followed the noise. He had walked around the dumpster, but he smiled as he found the door was open. It must have been ajar and the wind pushed it open more, making the noise. Well, he wasn't about to turn down an opportunity for free food, even if he got it from the trash. Going in, ignoring how dark it was, he began searching carefully. He didn't want to attract attention and be caught. Sure, living on the streets was hard. It was better than that orphanage. Here, he might get beat by another homeless person who wants his food. There, he gets beat up for the fun of it and still doesn't get enough food. Plus, the caretaker, if you can call him that, was weird and made him uncomfortable. He didn't want to stick around long enough to reach 10 near him. after seeing the other 10 and up kids. As he left the room, he didn't notice the door came he As he left the room, he didn't notice the door he came in from close. A woman standing there with blank eyes and a demented smile. That's the end of chapter 1. Of course, I'm going to continue to either the end of chapter 2 or chapter 3, but for right now, tea break. It's important to keep your voice hydrated, not dry, when you're reading things because, of course, that could damage your vocal cords, and that's not good. So, chapter 2, Baited? Laying in what looked like to be a kitchen area, the child laid on the floor with red sauce and icing around his lips. His stomach was now full of pizza and cupcakes. Honestly, he ate too much. His stomach hurt, but he refused to get sick. It would be an absolute waste of food that he desperately needed. Hearing footsteps, he pushed himself up quickly and dove into a large bin with a bunch of aprons in it. He used them to cover himself with the exception of his eyes to look out. From inside, he could hear the footsteps come closer. He saw a woman with blonde hair, tied in a ponytail and a security uniform. Where did he go? I swear he was here. He even ate the food I used as bait. Bait? He kept rubbing his eyes slightly, careful not to move the fabric. He started to feel sleep he started feeling sleepy. He noticed it before he but thought it was from his full stomach. This wasn't good. He knew what bait was. He kept an eye on her. His eyes widened as he noticed a large knife in her hand. He can't have gone far. Placing a hand over his mouth, he shook as he realized she would kill him if she got a hold of him. Seeing her leave, he pulled himself out of the bin onto wobbly legs. Not good, not good, he muttered. She had drugged him or something. Gotta find a safer place to hide. Someplace she wouldn't look. If he stayed here, he was sure she would find him. She had already said he wouldn't be far, so she would be looking there carefully. Going out, he carefully kept track of where he was and what was around him. Despite his best efforts, he was finding his mind steadily shutting down as he grew more tired. Pushing a door open, he noticed an odd room with one of the main characters of the sign. No. Pushing a door open, he noticed an odd room with one of the main characters from the sign up in front of it. Getting closer, it seemed powered down. He touched it curiously as his mind tried to think clearly and was failing. All he knew is that he thought the large animatronic was cool looking. His fingers caught on something, and without much thought, he pulled it up. His eyes widened as he saw a space he could easily fit in. Well, maybe a bit cramped, but he could live. Wait, live. He shook his head, regretting it a bit as his blurring vision swam and made things worse. Need to get in before I pass out. She won't find me here, probably. Climbing in, he pulled it closed and groaned. He had such a headache now. His body was worn out, hurt a bit, his stomach was full, and he was drugged. It wasn't long until he passed out cold. A few hours later, movement got his attention as it woke him up. His head was still banging, and he was disoriented from being in an unfamiliar place. His eyes widened as he realized where he was. He flinched as the animatronic jumped and continued moving erratically as loud music rattled his brain. Yet all he could do was hold on and make sure he didn't press on the chest plate to get flung out. A faint beeping sound, like an alarm, caught his attention as Freddy's sensors picked up that a child was inside him. His protocols began conflicting till he shorted out and collapsed on the stage he had been dancing on. Oof! The child pushed his hands over his lips, no longer needing to hold on now that he had stopped moving. He gritted his teeth as he glanced down at his previously injured knee. The wound had reopened. He huffed but could do nothing about it. He could hear many voices outside. They seemed a little distant, but he couldn't make out what they were saying. All he could tell was that they seemed worried and or angry. "Freddy? What happened? Are you all right?" A high-pitched girly voice asked. "Ain't it obvious? He ain't? He isn't?" "Hey, get the tech team here," a rough man voice said. with some kind of accent. I already called them. They said they're going to take him to his room and put him on reduced power for now. They plan to check him in the morning since we don't have any shows till 9 tomorrow. Another but deeper girl voice said, Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the inconvenience. It appears Freddy is not feeling the best right now. Please come again tomorrow to catch his show then, and have a fazerific day. Fazbear Entertainment is not liable for any lost, stolen, or damaged property, and is responsible for any injuries or death. Freddy Fazbear Entertainment does does not give any refunds nor replacement tickets for broken attractions or malfunctioning animatronics. I would read that faster, but jeez, how could anyone understand what was said at the end was questionable? Sorry. Okay, jeez, how anyone could understand what was said at the end was questionable at best. He said it so fast, it was a wonder that they took a breath during it. Did they do that in one breath? Feeling movement, the child noticed that his hiding place was beginning to move again. For now, he would stay put till he felt the coast was clear. This, of course, is the end of chapter 2. I feel we would have enough time for one more chapter. So I'm going to continue to chapter 3. And honestly, if you guys have not picked up right now, I do have a bit of a speech issue where I do stutter a bit, so please bear with me. Chapter 3, Meeting Freddy, who I cannot voice for the life of me, so bear with me. Sitting in his hiding spot inside the animatronic, the child nodded to himself. He had waited long enough and was ready to escape. It had been an hour. No, it had been a half hour, so he was sure no one would expect him to be hiding it here at this point. With this in mind, he pushed the hatch open. It didn't move. Uh-oh. He gritted his teeth and pressed harder, but it was locked tight now. Was it where it fell? Feeling faint movement, the kid gritted his teeth, realized the animatronic was active again. Showtime already? I'm experiencing a malfunction. The recharge cycle is incomplete, he said loudly. His head was still pounding from the drug, and being inside this thing talking only made it seem louder. Shh! Would you shut up? Crap. He didn't mean to say anything. He did it without thinking because of the pain. Who said that? Well, he seemed calm enough, and it didn't seem like he could play it off that he wasn't here at this point. I did! I'm down here! Could it really not tell he was there? He was light for his age, perhaps, but he still weighed at least 50 pounds. Though he didn't know exactly how much. Down where? The area he was in began moving more, presumably looking for him. I still don't see you. Why do I sound like that one bear from that show? It'll come to me later. Okay, listen. You were sleeping, so I opened the stomach hatch and climbed inside, the kid admitted, wanting them to hurry up and get him out. My stomach hatch? That place is reserved for oversized birthday cakes and pianos. It is not a safe play area. They responded loudly. Thankfully, the hatch opened. He was able to finally get out. There you are. Before you get anywhere, though, the animatronic bear, which he hadn't noticed that part until now since he was too tired before, grabbed him and some kind of light came from his eye and went up and down the boy's face. Scanning complete. How odd. Your guest profile is unknown to me. Who are you? The bear asked. The kid wasn't used to people asking his name, even less a large animatronic bear. I'm Gregory. Taking a step back as the bear finally let go of him, he ignored his pounding head as he began looking around. This looked like a person's room. Sort of. Not one he had ever seen, but it still seemed to be the bear's room. Either way, there were posters with it on them. Stuttering? Either way, there were posters with it on them, with the name Freddy on them, so Gregory figured that was the bear's name. Huh, connection error. I cannot connect to the main network, Freddy said. Gregory had an idea why. Gregory had a good idea why. After all, she worked here as security. She could possibly do something like that. It's her. She cut you off. She's not gonna let you call for help until she finds me. Who? Who's looking for you? Your mother? Gregory couldn't tell if this bear was just optimistic or dumb. If he had a mother, how would she cut the bear's connection? Gregory tensed as he heard footsteps and told Freddy to be quiet. Yet the dumb animatronic just mentioned how the lady was a security guard and would help him. He even made movements towards the door. Gregory quickly blocked his path. No! He was his pain. No, I don't trust her, he repeated. He did not have the mental strength to go through what happened before. Besides, why would they believe him? Why not? Seriously. Did a kid need to say why he didn't trust a strange adult? Still, he really didn't want to say. It was scary, embarrassing how he was tricked, and he wanted to talk as little as possible because of the headache the food gave him. I don't know who she is, but she's trying to get me. Is there some other way to communicate with me out besides talking so loudly? He hoped the bear he hoped that those was enough of an answer, and begged in his head that Freddy would be quieter for both his head and hiding's sake. Ah, take this. It's a novelty Freddy Fa- it's a novelty Freddy Faz watch, Freddy said, handing Gregory a watch. It looked like a digital watch. Shrugging, not seeing a good reason not to take a free watch either way, he put it on his left wrist. If nothing else, maybe he could sell it for later when he got out. I am sending you a coded message, Freddy said. I still sound like that bear. Gregory raised an eyebrow till he felt his left wrist vibrate. Hello, Gregory. It's me, Freddy. I... Hello, Gregory. Please bear with me. Like I said, I cannot voice Freddy for the life of me. Hello, Gregory. It's me, Freddy. I will escort you to the main entrance. However, I am unable to leave this room. You should have no problem. There is a button on the wall that will open the door to the back room. I will make it accessible to you now. Freddy's voice came from the watch, but it still seemed pretty loud for hiding. He would have to be careful about that. Going to the mentioned door, Gregory found what he could only call a storage room. This area was dirty and undecorated compared to the previous room, and there were boxes sitting stacked on each other. There was also a round tube-like structure there too. It was red with a blue bolt going down its side. Outside, in the main room, Freddy gave a thumbs up. Well done, well done, Gregory. Gregory jumped at how loud he was being. Was he trying to get attention? There is an open air vent inside the maintenance room. You would have to climb through the ventilation system and release me from the outside, Freddy continued. Gregory looked up, seeing said air vent. He could easily fit him. It could easily fit him as long as he crouched. Climbing on the boxes, he made his way up and into the vent. It was a bit cramped, and he had to be careful not to bump his head on the vent ceiling above him. Still, he just wanted out of this freaky place, so he kept moving. As he went, he found he could see into the rooms of the other animatronics. Well, except one. It was too dark, and with all the banging, he wasn't sure he wanted to. One was rocking out with a guitar, and the other he could see was talking to herself. It was a bit weird, but he moved on and ignored it. He had seen crazier people while living on the streets. Just not blonde lady that drugged and tries to kill you with a knife crazy. Getting to the end of the vent, he fell to the ground and grunted. He had hit his knee again. It was just not his night. It didn't matter. He just had to get Freddy out, and he would lead him to the doors. And that was the end of chapter 3. And I am, of course, putting a pin in it because I feel this is long enough. Should be long enough, hopefully. And honestly, my brain is frazzled from having to re-record this multiple times, especially the intro. So, If you enjoyed it, please go to the description, click on the link, and give the author support. Give them kudos, comment, even subscribe to their work because AO3 does offer a subscription button so that you can be emailed when the author updates again. And so far, this author has been on a daily updating spree. So please, so you don't miss out on any other work, please subscribe to their work, give them likes, and comment what you enjoy. And sorry for the constant stuttering and rereading of certain lines because honestly, I do have a slight stutter when it comes to things. Um, but honestly, that just proves I am human even more, and as well as not making it seem like I am what I'm not. So I am not perfect. So, um, of course, like, subscribe if you want to see more readouts, and please definitely support the author. The creator of the game that this is based off of was Scott Cawthon. Well, is Scott Cawthon. He's still the creator and the owner of the FNAF series. I don't know why I said was in the beginning, but that's just my brain being stupid. So please enjoy and see you guys next time when I do the next chapter. I don't know when I'm uploading again. I am probably going to do either a weekly upload or so honestly it depends. I might do every 2 videos every week, once a week, or even bi-weekly depending on if I can find enough to read for you guys. If you guys have any um recommendations for me to read, I will look into it, reach out to the author of said works, and read from there if I do get the permission. If I don't get the permission, I won't, but I won't tell you if I did or did not. And even if I don't get permission to read it, that is the author's choice on whether or not they want me to read or not. So please be mindful and be respectful. And of course, if you guys ever do decide to start something like this, always get permission first. Always. It's not good nor fair to the author if you don't get permission and you start posting their work without consent. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.